presentation, we are going to discuss the following terms. Those are dispatcher, burst time, turnaround time, waiting time, and response time. Let us see what is dispatcher in an operating system. Dispatcher is a special program which comes into play after the scheduler. When the scheduler completes its job of selecting a process, it is the dispatcher which takes that process to the desired state. The dispatcher is a module that gives the process control over the CPU after it has been selected by the short-term scheduler. Its main functions are context switching, switch to user mode, and jumping to proper location when process restarts. Since it is just a code segment, there are no different types in dispatcher. Its working is dependent on scheduler, which means dispatcher has to wait until scheduler selects a process. There is no such specific algorithm for its implementation, whereas the time taken by dispatcher is called as dispatch latency. Now let us see performance finding parameters of a program, and those are burst time, turnaround time, waiting time, and response time are the performance finding parameters of a system. Let us see them one by one. First is burst time. Every process in a computer system requires some amount of time for its execution. It is both the CPU and the input output time. The CPU time is the time taken by the CPU to execute the process, while the input output time is the time taken to perform the input output operation. In general, we neglect the input output time and only consider the CPU time. So burst time is simply the time taken by the process for its execution on the CPU. Now let us see the turnaround time. So the turnaround time is the total amount of time spent by the processor for coming in ready state. We have considered first come first serve scheduler for these following processes, and for the process P1 at the 0th second the CPU is already allocated to it and the waiting time is 0. Therefore the process P1, the turnaround time will be burst time, that is 2 seconds. For P2, P2 have to wait for 2 seconds for P1 to be executed. Its waiting time is 2 seconds, after which CPU will be allocated to P2 and it can execute its task. Therefore, the turnaround time is 2 plus 5 equals to 7 seconds for P2. Similarly, for P3, it has to wait for 7 seconds, after which it can execute the allotted task. So the turnaround time is 17 seconds. That was the turnaround time. Now we come to response time. So the response time, it is the time spent when the process is in the ready state and gets the CPU for the first time. Here in this example, for process P1, since the arrival time is 0, the response time is also 0. For P2, P2 have to wait for 8 milliseconds during execution of P1, and then after it will get CPU for its execution. And since arrival time of P2 is 1 millisecond, its response time will be 8 minus 1, that is 7 millisecond. Similarly, P3 will get CPU after completion of P1 and P2, that is after 8 plus 7 equals to 15 millisecond, and the arrival time is of P3 is 2 millisecond. Therefore, the response time will be 15 minus 2 equals to 13 millisecond. Waiting time is simply the time spent by the process waiting in the ready state for the CPU to get allocated. In this example, for P1, the CPU is ready to be allocated to P1, thus the waiting time is 0 millisecond. For P2, it is 8 millisecond and P2 will occur after P1 and its arrival time is 0. For P3, 15 millisecond it will take for P1 and P2 to occur, and since the arrival time of P3 is 2, its waiting time is 15 minus 2 equals to 13 millisecond. That was the presentation. Thank you for watching.